Have you had some success in sales, but you feel like there's just something keeping you from getting to the absolute top of your game? I have had the opportunity to work with the most successful and rich salespeople out there. And one thing that I find is that they have a common set of sales mindsets that truly change the game. In this video, I'm going to teach you the sales mindsets to understand the way successful and rich salespeople think. Check it out. I am the best. This is such a critical mindset. By the way, not just for sales, but for anything success related. We have to start to believe that we are at the top of our game. Even if right now you don't feel like you are actually at the top of your game, you must start to think as if you are at the top of your game, because you will literally never get to the top of your game unless you believe that you are someone who deserves to be at the top. So just the simple mindset of I am the best is what is going to allow you to actually become the best, because the most successful and rich salespeople believe and know that they are the best. Prospects need me. This is such an important mindset to recognizing that there are people out there right now who need what you offer. The vast majority of salespeople feel that they are interrupting a person's day or that they are somehow bothering a prospect when they're reaching out to them. But the most successful and wealthy salespeople recognize that prospects actually need them. Not everyone, but there is a group of prospects out there that absolutely need them, and it is their job to find those people. So when you shift from I am an annoyance, I am a bother, to there are people out there that absolutely need me, suddenly you're selling from a perspective of, if I don't do my job, I'm actually doing a disservice to these people. That is how we get to a level of confidence with our prospects, because we recognize that they need you. This is just a game. Your prospects are participating in a game when they enter into a buying situation with you. That is just the nature of sales. It is a game just like any other contact sport out there, but it is simply just a game. The most successful and rich salespeople understand that it's a game and they like to play it. That's what gets you great at sales, is by learning to enjoy the game. If you're constantly feeling stress and nervousness and fear as a result of doing this, you're never going to get to a level of the top of the food pyramid. You have to recognize that it is just a game and that it can be fun. And when a prospect misbehaves when they're playing the game, that's just part of the game. You allowed that to happen. So by recognizing that we are engaging in a game, it suddenly shifts the way we even think of sales to more of a sport, as opposed to this life or death situation that most salespeople think that they're in. I can go toe to toe with any CEO. This is such a critical mindset, in that we often start to get really nervous when we're selling to prospects that are really high up the food chain, or when we're selling to people that are high net worth individuals. But those are the people with money. Those are the people with decision-making ability. Those are the people that we should be selling to. And we don't want to put them on a pedestal like they're some powerful, all magnificent being. Instead, we just want to treat them like a normal human being. That's how we make sales. I don't care if they're a CEO, if they're a billionaire, if they're a millionaire, it doesn't matter. We need to be comfortable going toe to toe with any of them. And that's how we make massive levels of money in sales. Not selling to people who are broke and trying to get them to shell out the $7 that they have in their wallet, but instead going to people that actually have money, that have a need, and converting those people into clients. That is how you create real wealth in sales. If I lose a sale, so what? This goes back to the idea that sales is just a game. You are going to lose sales. You are going to have a sale that you think is in the bag and it's going to fall apart. So what? That's just what happens. If you start to get mad at yourself or beat yourself up or punch the wall or get super angry just because you lost a sale, you're not going to be long for this game. The most successful salespeople just recognize that, you know what? I'm going to lose some deals, and that's part of the process. So what? Maybe it was something you did. Maybe it was them. Maybe it was something that had nothing to do with either of you. You're going to lose sales. So what? Activity and process over closing. So what this means is that activity and process are far more important than closing. And what I see is that the most successful and rich salespeople are so much more focused on the activity and the process as opposed to just closing deals. Now, obviously, look, we all love closing deals. We all love winning. But what gets you to closing more deals is the activity and the process. And so by activity and process, that means, are you filling your pipeline? Are you getting enough at-bats? Are you doing the activity that kind of gets you to the game in the first place? And then is the process by which you're actually playing the game, is that the best process? So the more you focused on your activity and then your process, the less closing an individual deal actually matters. It's just like any game that you could possibly play. Are we practicing enough? Are we playing the game correctly? And then naturally winning and closing will come. I'll see if you're a fit. This is a really critical mindset that I see the most successful and wealthy salespeople using. They're not trying to close anyone. They're trying to determine if a prospect is a fit. And by the way, if they're not a fit, they move on. And that's okay, because the most successful and wealthy salespeople are spending the majority of their time in front of qualified prospects. That's just a fact of life for top performing salespeople. And one of the ways that they ensure that they're in front of qualified prospects is that they're really determining fit. So they're not trying to just sell anyone that has a pulse that they can get in front of, but instead they're trying to sell to people that are in fact a fit. And that means that when someone's not a fit, they simply move on. They don't think twice about it. They move on and go to the next. I have a clear plan to my sales goal. I cannot tell you the number of salespeople that I talk to that have this big pie in the sky goal. They want to sell $10 million this year or $100 million or whatever it is. And then I say, okay, so what's the plan to actually getting there? How many meetings do you need? What do you have to close at? What's the average deal size? All that stuff. And they say, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that stuff. You need to have a crystal clear plan to actually get into your sales goal. So whatever your number is, you need to know, first of all, what's that number? 2, how many deals does that consist of? What's the average sales size? And then from there, how many meetings do I have to have with initial prospects in order to get to that number of sales? Really having a clear plan in place is critical, because if you don't have that, you will literally never hit a sales goal. Maybe you'll stumble into it if it's an easy goal or you get one lucky big sale, but you're not going to consistently hit your numbers if you don't have a clear plan to getting there. I love what I do and sell. This is such a critical mindset that the top salespeople out there have over and over again. Because in order to get great, you've got to just love this stuff. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to like what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You've got to really believe in what you're selling. And if you don't enjoy this, or you can't get to a place where you enjoy it and that you really believe in what you're selling, you're never going to be at the upper echelon of your industry. We must get to the place where we just really enjoy playing the game. And we really believe that what we're selling is important and that it matters. It could be something very specific. You could be selling CRMs to HVAC companies, right? That can be super specific. And most people are like, well, I don't care if HVAC companies use a CRM system. Well, it's not about what everyone thinks. It's what you think. Are you improving the lives of the people that you're actually selling to? We've got to get to that place where we really believe it congruently and consistently in order to really consistently close the deals that we need to close. So there is sales mindset, the way successful and rich salespeople think. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have an amazing free training on the step-by-step formula to closing more deals. Just click right here to get registered instantly. Seriously, just click right here. This is an in-depth training that will help you close more deals at higher prices, all while generating more meetings. Also, if you got some value, please like this video below on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking my face, which should be right about here, to get access to a new video just like this one each week.